Imagine a company so massive that its total value is double the entire national debt of a country like Pakistan. Imagine a brand that wakes you up with its tea, seasons your food with its salt, drives you to work in its cars, flies you across the world in its planes, and even writes the software that runs your bank. It sounds like a modern monopoly, doesn't it? But this isn't a story about greed or money. It is a 150-year-old saga of a single family who didn't just build a business, they built a nation. This is the story of Tata.
Hello and welcome. If you're new here, welcome to Amazing 5.
Let's rewind the clock. We are going back 156 years to a time when India was still under British rule. The year is 1868. A young man named Jamshedji Tata stands with just 21,000 rupees in his pocket. He has a dream, but everyone thinks he is making a mistake. In those days, if you wanted to make money in cotton, you went to Bombay. That was the hub. But Jamshedji turned his back on the city. He looked at a swampy, undeveloped piece of land in Nagpur, 770 kilometers away. People laughed. They asked, why go to the middle of nowhere? But Jamshedji saw what others couldn't. He saw the rivers that would provide water. He saw the cotton farms right next door. He saw a hungry workforce waiting for an opportunity. He bought a bankrupt oil mill, tore it down, and built the Empress Mill. It wasn't just a factory, it was a revolution. He proved that you don't need to follow the crowd to find gold. You just need to see the value where others see dust. But here is where the story shifts from business to humanity. Jamshedji noticed something heartbreaking. In Bombay, workers were treated like parts of a machine, overworked, underpaid, and discarded when they broke. He refused to run his empire on broken backs. Decades before the world even thought about labor laws, Jamshedji introduced pensions for his workers. He created accident compensation. He looked at his exhausted employees and did the unthinkable. He mandated an 8-hour workday so they could go home to their families. He believed that if you take care of people, they will take care of your company. And he was right. The workers of Nagpur didn't just work for Tata, they belonged to Tata. Jamshedji's hunger to make India self-reliant was insatiable. He saw that the rich wore silk imported from France. So, he traveled to France, studied their silkworms, and brought them to the tropical heat of India. It was a disaster at first. The worms died, the climate was wrong. But he didn't quit. He moved operations to Bangalore, built a controlled environment, and birthed the Indian silk industry. Then came the biggest dream of all, steel. The British were laying railways across India, importing millions of tons of steel from England. Jamshedji swore that India would build its own railways with its own metal. For 17 years, he and his team hunted through jungles and hills, looking for iron ore. Sadly, Jamshedji passed away in 1904, never seeing the smoke rise from his steel plant. But his son, Dorabji Tata, picked up the torch. He established Tata Steel in a place that was nothing but forest. Today, that city is named Jamshedpur. When World War I broke out, it was Tata's steel that built the tanks and rails for the British Empire. The dream had outlived the dreamer. There is a legend that says Jamshedji was once denied entry to a fancy hotel in Bombay because he wasn't white. Instead of fighting, he decided to build a hotel so grand that the world would bow to it. In 1903, the Taj Mahal Hotel opened its doors. It was the first hotel in India to have electricity, American fans, and German elevators. It was a palace floating by the sea, and unlike the British hotels, its doors were open to everyone. It was a statement of dignity. As the years passed, a new hero emerged from the family, J.R.D. Tata. He wasn't just a businessman, he was an adventurer. He looked at the sky and saw the future. In 1932, he climbed into a small, single-engine plane and flew the first cargo of mail himself. That flight was the birth of Air India. He gave a bullock cart nation its first set of wings. Under his leadership, the group exploded. They went into chemicals, cosmetics, and technology. He saw the computer age coming before anyone else and launched TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, which is now the crown jewel of the group. Finally, the baton was passed to Ratan Tata. He inherited a giant, but he wanted to make it a global titan. He faced a new challenge, building India's first indigenous car. Critics said India couldn't design a car. Ratan Tata launched the Indica. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. He then did something audacious. He went to the UK and bought Jaguar and Land Rover, the pride of British engineering. The company from a colonized nation was now owning the icons of the colonizers. Today, the Tata Group is worth over $400 billion. But if you look closely at their history, you realize their true wealth isn't in their bank accounts. It's in the trust of the people. From the salt on a poor man's table to the luxury cars on the highway, Tata is the heartbeat of India. It is a story that proves that if you build for the people, you build forever.